Welcome back to Robinhood Stock Market Watchlist group here on Facebook. My name's Carlos, and today is it is Monday morning, the 29th of January 2024, and this is our third video for this week. The first one was the economic reports. Second one was earnings. The third one here is we're going to look more into last week's stock options activity. That way we can kind of see where it kind of closed at and kind of what investors are doing. That way it's part of our due diligence when it comes to always follow the money, because it's important to know what are investors doing, where's the money going. And so one of my favorite websites that I like utilizing for this is a website called barchart.com, and under the options area there's an area called most active stock options. So this basically is what the most active stock options closed at last week. Tesla being number one with about 2.7 million in options volume, which is huge. Nvidia made it second place with 1.6 million in options volume. AMD made it third place with 1.3. Intel made it fourth place with just under a million, while Amazon made it about 0.8 million in options volume. So it kind of fell behind on that, as well as Apple, because everyone's looking at these technology stocks, EV, semiconductors, and look at the call and put ratio that we can see with Tesla is almost 50-50, more or less on the put side, but overall it's about 50-50. But we'll look into what more information of the options activity here just in a bit. But Nvidia is almost kind of the same 50-50 ish, but AMD is a little more bullish. We have about 60% calls over puts, about 40%. Intel's right around 50-50. However, Amazon, we got about 71.6% with a call ratio, about 28.4% with puts. So people are very, very bullish with Amazon. And in our second video this week, we talked about the earnings, and it looks a little mixed as we were talking about. Even though a lot of we expect them to beat their earnings, but still investors are maybe bearish because maybe they did really well last quarter, but maybe they might not go as well this next quarter. Overall, maybe they blew their wad. Who knows? Time will tell. But for now, I think investors are bullish and ready to ride that wave, maybe up until then, and then to be determined. We'll probably see a lot of people kind of wait and see what happens. However, we're going to see volatility either way. And how Apple, which is almost 60% calls, 40% put. So people are still kind of doing the same thing. They seem to be a little more on the bullish side with that one. And then we got Netflix down below, and the Marathon Digital. We got the SoFi Technologies, which was another earnings stock within our top 10 coming up here. 60% calls on that one. And then we have PayPal, which PayPal had their what was the innovation event last week. It took a little dive, but that is to be expected because the expert traders have that saying, buy on rumor, sell on news. So we watched PayPal surge from like around right around that $50 and now into the $60, and it's just kind of came down a little bit in the lower 60s, and so but it's ready to climb back up. And so PayPal is ready to kind of update their platforms and their way of some other things and stuff. So that way they can be a little more modern and not be left behind. And so with their new CEO, he definitely has plans to really renovate the company, so that way it's back up there as a very well-known company. And so 70% calls ratio, we'll we'll take a dive into that. And then we have Coinbase right around 67% call ratio. Meta platforms, Facebook about 57%. And it just kind of goes down with some of the other earning companies. Google, Alphabet right here, which is about $152 a share. We have 78.2% call ratio. Out of the whole thing, this Google holds the highest call percentage ratio than any other stock option on this page. However, then we have Riot, which is still kind of a penny stock, 81.5%, but still, with Google, a very well-known company, not a penny stock, 78.2% is way above average. That is normally it's right around 50, 40, 60% ish, maybe up to 70%, almost touch it, but we're at 78.2% for Google. That is above normal. So definitely, as I mentioned before in our previous video, this is definitely on our watch list for sure. And then but for those that do like penny stocks, Riot would be a good one to keep on your watch list. Even though it was up 6.7% on Friday, it's currently at $11.35. People are still betting it's going to go up. So we'll see if we can see more activity with the individual calls and puts as we go more into the options volume leaders. Now, some of these are going to be expired and are no longer valid. So I'll point out the ones that are valid going into Monday morning, you guys. This is very, very important. So the number one going into Monday morning is this Tesla put. So Tesla, which is currently right around $183.25, we have an $180 put strike price that expires this Friday here in a few days. And this has an open interest of right around 17,000, but we have a lot of volume in this, which is going to most likely it's going to merge itself with the existing open interest because people are obviously they appear to be slightly more bearish with Tesla than they are bullish. But we do have a $190 call strike price, so we see a lot of maybe mixed with straddling activity. It doesn't matter whether the stock goes up or down, we can cover both of our bases with these. And so Tesla's typically one of the most straddled stock options in the entire stock market. Next to SPY as an ETF, but Tesla is a very good stock for this. And so with that, we have about a 22,000 open interest on that call and a 49,000 in volume, which will also merge itself after opening on Monday morning. So it'll just add more interest to these particular stock options. So next one down is the SoFi. So SoFi, which is currently at $7.62, we have a $7 put. So people are betting that this stock is going to go down right there. But we also have a $8 call strike price for SoFi. But again, people are more bearish with this stock than they are bullish. But to be determined. We do see lots of volume activity with this, with a decent amount or about the same amount of open interest. And so investors are expected to see a lot of volatility with this stock. We also have more Tesla stock options here that are calls, and so that just kind of helps add to the mix of what is currently active. So that just adds a little bit more bullish, to the our little research before the market opens. Let's go down some other ones, but again, making sure that these are active. If there's 0 right here on the DTE, which means the number of days until the option expires, we need to ignore it. And that's why I'm not talking about it, because we need to ignore it. Focus on what is most important, the ones that are most active. And they have to have a good valid date on it. And so we have an Amazon call. We have a $160 call strike price. It's currently at $159. That's why it's always important to be right around the money, which is right around at the share price when it comes to your strike price. Because if you're not in the money, you're going to suffer more time depreciation. So that's why it's always recommended to either be at the money or maybe even in the money, which may be a little bit more expensive, maybe not as volatile either. But if we're right at the money, then we can have a little bit more volatility and have it cost a little less. And so, but yet there's a little bit more Tesla puts here, but there's another call to add in there. So I would say overall Tesla option traders are a little bit more bullish than they are bearish looking at this page here. And so, but then we have an Amazon put on the very bottom, $160. So this one is obviously in the money, but it expires 48 days, as well as the other one, which is the call, the $160 call. And so looks like a little bit of straddling there, but maybe more on the call side. Now, let's take a closer look at the stock options with the highest open interest. These will typically have a much longer expiration date, so it gives us a better idea, especially if you're not into stock options. This part here is extremely important because, again, as no matter what type of investor or trader you are, it's still important to always follow the money, to know where the money's going and what are people buying, or as well as what are people betting. What are they betting on, and what are they betting that the share price is going to reach, and by when? So, for example, we have the top one here, which again is all sorted out by let me refresh my page, just double check. It is all sorted out with the highest open interest. And if you're not sure what the stock options are, that's fine. I'm explaining things. Open interest is the total number of open contracts for the previous day that have not been traded but not yet liquidated via offsetting trades, meaning where open interest is what people bought previously but have not sold yet. They're still holding. And so that lets us know how much interest. And right now, there's a lot of interest on American Airlines. So it's currently priced at $15 a share, but they're betting it's going to go down to $5 a share approximately in a couple of years from now. And so, airlines has been taking a pretty big hit with, a lot of issues with the planes having mechanical issues. Also, I don't think there's as many pilots as there used to be. I think more have retired, especially during the whole COVID thing. A lot of pilots didn't want to take the COVID shot, so it limited how many pilots can do that. Plus, what pilots did take the COVID shots, there's rumors that they're experiencing health issues, and so that's also playing issues, with this. But I think overall, I think there's just a shortage in pilots, and we're seeing more mechanical issues, and we can just see overall more issues with the airlines. And this people are just betting that it's going to go down, and out of all of them, American Airlines is one of the most favorable stocks. And so this could be one of those, later on down the road. I'm not saying that it is, but this could be one of those GameStop type of meme stocks where people may want to save the stock. It is a popular stock. It's also a great airline. I enjoy flying in their planes. They're very modern. They provide some good stuff, and I would hate to see them have any issues. And so this could be one of those really cheap stocks that maybe retail investors will want to save. And so all to be determined. American Airlines has been struggling, but they're bouncing up and down. So. But that's a pretty massive drop. $5, we'll see. And then PayPal. We've talked about PayPal in previous weeks. in our stock market Facebook group, PayPal, which is now up to $61.78. We have a $140 call strike price. And again, even if you're not in a stock options, if you buy it as a share, if it gets to $140, your gain is still over $100 with it as a share. And so, but they're betting that it's going to reach that in about 1 year, next January. And so it's got a lot of interest, 161,000, which is in second place, which it used to be first place now, but it's hovering right around there with American Airlines. Versus the third place, ET, which only has 88 or just under 89,000 in open interest. These two are significantly a lot more than anything else under it. And so, but you know, like I said, we've talked a lot about PayPal and their innovation meeting that they had not too long ago. If you have not watched it, you can just go to YouTube, type in PayPal innovation, and you should find it. I think it's just under, it's like 18 minutes. I think it's not much, but it's still good to kind of get some feedback from CEOs. And so this is a young guy. You know, I think he's obviously wants to, you know, show himself and let people know, especially, you know, young people and everyone know that, you know, of what he's doing. And so you know, I would definitely recommend watching it. And so, and there's another PayPal call, $145. So really got two, and just add these two together. You know, now you've dominated. You know, the pretty much all the stocks on here. It's number one. You got $140, $145. They just basically split it in half, and so it's basically the most highest open or interest you know, stock on here. It's going to provide a lot of people a lot of money if it does what people are betting it's going to do. And so SoFi, which is right here, it is number 5, highest open interest, which is it's currently at $7.62 a share, but we have a $15 call strike price right here. But keep in mind, we also have a put right here too, $7. So I see 2 here on this page, and so, but the call is pretty steep. That's a 100% gain. From it going from nearly, you know, $7.60 to $15, that's 100% in about 1 year. And so we got 84,000 in open interest until it changes. This is huge. So that's another potential, and this is great for penny stocks. If you're a penny stock trader, you know, and this is another one that was in our earnings video that we just went over. If you haven't watched our earnings video, you definitely want to go to our YouTube channel and take a look at that, or you can go to our Facebook page. And I will have these posted in our featured announcements area. And so, so next is the CVE, which is currently at $16.20. We have a call for $17, betting it's going to go up in about, you know, 20 days. You know, next February. It's got a lot of open interest. So. You know, that might be a good one. Ford Motor Company, not looking good. A lot of people are betting it's going to go down. It's currently at $11.39, but people are betting it's going to get down to about $9.35 by next year, January 17th, 2025. A lot of open interest, right around 81,000 on that one. However, we have Robinhood. The stock ticker is HOOD. It is currently at $10.79. We have a $20 call strike price that expires next January of next year. And so we got a lot of open interest and a lot of activity on it. So sometimes we got to ask ourselves, why all of a sudden, you know, are these particular stocks on here? So one reason I can think of why the Robinhood app is on here is because also the movie Dumb Money is now available on Netflix. It's a great movie that kind of reenacts the whole GameStop you know, events that took place, you know, a couple years ago. And so also another thing I can think of that can create some activity with the Robinhood is that we are going into so the cryptocurrency has a 4-year cycle, and it resets every 4 years, and it repeats itself. So we go in this bullish phase for almost 2 years, and then 1 year is a bearish phase, and then the last year it's just kind of like it doesn't really do anything. You know, people get really bored and they start saying, "Oh, cryptocurrency's dying. What should I do? Should I buy more? Should I sell? What should I do?" It's just kind of a long drawn out. It feels like it takes forever. However, the cycle resets this April, and so if you look at cryptocurrency, even in the last like 30 days or 45 days or whatever, investors are getting ready. They know what's going to happen before it happens, and that's one of the reasons why that we need to talk about these things. That way we can always be prepared. Just like I've said before, it's important that we always plan our trades so we can trade our plan, because otherwise if we fail to plan, we're planning to fail, and that's not us. And so when this activity starts happening more and more, people are going to use these free trading platforms like Robinhood, Webull, or whatever, and so that's going to create more revenue for the company, more activity, more users, more whatnot. And so when people are making a lot of money on whether it be crypto, stocks, whatever, they're referring their friends, family, whatever. Life is good. Everything's going up. Everyone wins, and so. But this is going to create, and I'm anticipating this is one of the reasons why Robinhood is going to double its stock value from $10 to $20 in just 1 year. So whether you're into stock options or penny stocks, all eyes on Robinhood stock. Going back down, we talked about the Sophie, Nikola, one of these days, it hasn't gone yet. So Nikola has been kind of, it was one of those EV companies that have struggled. They've lied and deceived, and they've gotten into lawsuits and some other issues, but they're, they haven't drowned yet, so they need to get over $1. This is a little concerning being under $1, but Nikola one of these days could get a contract with somebody, or they may be able to figure something out with their vehicles. They're a company that had the vision to develop electric semi trucks, as well as rugged trucks, on road, off road. Type of stuff. That's what Americans want, and so, they lied to investors many years ago, but they've gone through a lot of trial and errors, and so. But if they go from 70 cents to $1.50, that's over 100% gain. And so, but people are betting, investors are betting on this, that this is going to happen in about a year. We got 75,000 open interest on that. So people are buying and they're holding, betting that it's going to do that. Until further notice, we'll keep an eye on this. And so next one looks like we got Vail, $14. We got a $15 call strike price that expires in a year. Got 74,000 open interest. Then we got Apple, which is currently at $192 a share. We have a $210 call strike price. People betting that it's going to go up by March 15th, so about 45 days from now. We got a good amount of open interest, 74,000. We got more of the Robinhood. Then we got C, which is the stock. I think, what is it? Citibank. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, Citigroup. $53.67 a share. We have a $55 call strike price. Good amount of open interest, 73,000. We got another Vail. We have a Rivian. So we have a Rivian here. Share is $15.29. We have a $16 call strike price that expires in March 1st, approximately 34 days from now. Good amount of open interest at 72,000, which will accumulate I would imagine through time as we get closer to this expiration date. Tesla got a good amount of open interest with this one. So Tesla again is $183.25. We have a $220 call strike price. It is the only Tesla on this page, highest open interest page. It expires March 15th, approximately 48 days from now. It's got a 71,000 open interest. That's good. Very, very bullish. So even if Tesla dips, a little bit this week, I think overall people are betting here within, a short period of time that Tesla's going to bounce back up. And so the same thing with Apple. People are still pretty, bullish with Apple with these two, call strike prices. We have a 200 and 210 with different expiration dates, though. The 200 has an expiration date of February 16th, which is approximately right around 20 days from now. It also has about 70,000 in open interest. Then we have another stock. I'm not familiar with this one, FCX sounds familiar. Let me double check on what that one's. Freeport McMoran Incorporated. So not familiar with that one, but it's currently at $39.59 a share. But we do have a $45 call strike price that expires later on this June 21st. It has a very good amount of open interest, 69,000, but a very small amount of volume. It's just accumulating. Could be buying activity, could be selling activity, but but it's very small, very little. But we'll take a closer eye on it, see if it adds to the open interest or if it subtracts from the open interest. Then we have Alibaba, which if you're not familiar with Alibaba, it's basically the Chinese version of Amazon. They are currently at $74, which is very, very low for them, by the way. But people are betting that they're going to start recovering really soon at $80 by March 15th, which is approximately 48 days from now. They have a very good amount of open interest at 68,000. This is very, very good, you guys. Good, activity, good options activity, and but we'll take a closer look at this information live once the stock market opens up on Monday morning. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. You can text or you can message me here on Facebook, or you can also ask within our live chat rooms of our group that you can find here on the top.